where do you stand on A, what it looks like with Dan Fletcher, B, what it looks like with an interim to the end of the season, and C, what it looks like permanent now?
Well, I've just had confirmation as we've been recording that Johnny Evans is back as part of the backroom
Come
staff.
on, Johnny.
So
I thought you were going to say that he was going to be taking
breaking
over
news.
Darren Fletcher.
Get this out as quickly as possible, because then it's not going to be breaking news anymore.
Yeah, Johnny Evans is going to be on the touchline as we suspected. The plan does seem to be for Darren Fletcher to take these 2 games and they'll look for another interim. I mean, my question would be, what if they win well at Burnley? What if they beat Brighton in the FA Cup, which I think would be an achievement? How can they not, if they're going to go down the interim route, give it to Fletcher?
What if they go to Arsenal and beat City as well?
At the end of the season. Well, exactly. I mean, they're big games, aren't they? Maybe the new interim might not fancy that pair of fixtures. Michael Carrick would be an obvious option, but as of yesterday, he'd not had any contact. I think he probably would do it if he was invited to. We know that Ollie is desperate for it. But again, there's a bit of revisionism there. Yes, we all remember that night in Paris and the feel-good factor that he brought and what he did during the COVID season. But I was actually at Vicarage Road when it turned very toxic and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was being booed by a lot of fans in that away end. And you also have to question how much of the success was down to him and how much was it down to what Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna did on the training ground day in, day out, because he was very much a hands-off manager when it came to that. So I don't think that would be a particularly good appointment other than offering the Glazers and Ineos a shield from those ex-pundits, because he's probably the one manager who Gary Neville and the like have been reluctant to criticise. Long term, I can sort of see the sense in waiting till the end of the season, but you are writing off the second half of the season effectively, and there is a chance of Champions League qualification. That top 5 is certainly not beyond reach, although I do think Liverpool are going to pull clear now when they get their players back. Thomas Tuchel would be my choice. He would have been my choice when Eric Ten Hag was on the brink.
But you have to wait till the summer. And actually, this whole waiting to the summer thing, you got to wait to the end of a World Cup. What type of pre-season is that? You can't. It's not great prep, is it? So it's all good trying to wait until the summer that would unlock somebody like Poch, Tuchel, or Nagelsmann.
I was going to say,
but that's a risky business because, you know.
But I'm going to say what probably everyone who's watching is going to be thinking here. Who do you get now then? We're talking about this permanent appointment. Who do you get?
Okay, well let's
We've had the Enzo Maresca shout. I don't think we should be going after Chelsea's scraps there, especially with the way that ended.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Sometimes, but on this occasion, I don't think that's the way to go.
Might be the best option right now.
What about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
No. Go on.
Until the end of the season. There's a lot of reports saying that he's waiting for Man United to decide what they think. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Oh, he's so desperate. He's giving
obviously
desperate.
He's saying yes. Obviously,
he's giving desperate. Of course, that he's sat there by his phone.
Of course he's going to...
Like, having it on loud. If they rang.
Gone off.
She's
of course Ollie's going to be desperate to come back. Of course he is.
He loves the club.
That's giving me the ick, though.
Right.
He loves the club.
Is it not... If we are going to get an interim until the end of the season, would you rather it be Darren Fletcher, who has no previous experience of managing men's football? Would you rather it be Carrick, who's done all right at Middlesbrough before leaving? Would you rather it be Fletcher and Evans together? Or would you rather it be someone like Ralph Rangnick, who's going to come in and try and rule the roost and not be able to do it? Or would you just rather someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who knows the club, can give us the vibes, get some smiles on faces with the guarantee, and I'm just going to say this, with the guarantee that you're not going to get, like the Lampard situation, you're definitely not going to get this job, Ole. We're just letting you know that now. But go and get us Champions League football 1 game a week. Give us Ollie vibes and chill.
Look at Martin O'Neill at Celtic. They've just called him back in because
exactly.
First of all, we have to be careful. We're not disrespecting the legends. We love the legends, of course we do. But their managerial credentials are another thing. Now, I would be waiting till the summer for a permanent appointment because I don't think that permanent appointment, if we really want to look, for the future of Manchester United, is out there just yet. I don't think we can coach them out of there because we're probably going to have to take a manager out of another club. That's what we're looking at here. That's where we are. Now, we did that with Emery. It just didn't work. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to the end of the season.
Does that make the most sense?
It makes sense, but I just hate we're here. Of course, if there's going to be an interim,
does it make sense without Carrick and McKenna though?
No. I'm saying.
He's bringing them all back.
I think what's going to happen, not McKenna because he's at Ipswich and
he's having a
McKenna was the brains.
McKenna was the brains, but I think they'll probably go Ollie, Carrick, Fletcher,
Johnny
Evans, like
will
all of them.
flow
I just
around
think all of them crooky
Probably.
until the end of the season.
Probably, but is that I feel like that is. We have to wait for the right manager. Like we'd have to interview them and see where their head's at. Does Unai Emery get Villa Champions League football? Can we get him out of the
Unai Emery.
whatever? Oh, I think
I
he's
like
the best.
Unai,
I think he's the
but
best
problem
manager
with
in
him
the
is
league.
when he
Pound
goes
for
to
pound.
big clubs, though.
Well, I don't know. I think that was it.
It's all right at Villa.
that was
They ain't
too
got
early.
aspirations of winning the league, and they ain't even
I
got a
don't-
trophy yet. Still, Dan
I
Bardell's
have
still
never-
going like he's the best manager I've ever seen. He's
I
still
think that
not
was
even
too
got a
early
trophy.
Great for
for him.
Aston Villa.
Yeah, he's great for Aston Villa.
But Aston Villa is not Manchester United.
They're
If you
miles
can't do
ahead of us.
Arsenal,
No, they're miles ahead of us, but
No,
you have
but
to think of
regarding the club.
that's not the measuring stick. We need to get past where Aston
measuring
Villa were
stick is
happy
what
going
he
to
did at
Arsenal and getting
Arsenal.
pumped 4-0, 4-1, and going weren't in the title race anyway. Let's try and get the Europa League.
There
Let's
were
try and finish
also
high as we can.
relegation candidates.
That's
when,
why he's a good
when
manager.
Unai took over,
but I
with a
just think
next to
that's
no
the limit,
budget.
though. When he's at PSG, didn't work. When he's at Arsenal, didn't work. The big clubs' evidence is not there. When he's at Sevilla, fine. When he's at
But apart from
Aston Villa.
PSG, like he's never never really been in like a title race. Fair, you could argue this season, but he's a
that
mediocre
level.
manager.
Not me.
He's
In
better,
my
than,
opinion.
he's better than Enzo Maresca.
Yeah, no, he's a very
Miles
good.
better
He's
than
a very
Enzo
good manager, and I don't actually disrespect. I actually think he's a very good manager.
He's never
if he
won a
came into
domestic
Man United,
trophy.
if he came into Man United, he would improve us. He would improve individuals, but then you would hit a ceiling for me of where the threshold that you need to break through to be at Man United to win the Champions League, to win the Premier League. I'm not necessarily
I think they
sure.
could be good for each other, mate.
I just think
they could be
he's
good for each other.
yeah.
But I do like
he's-
him. I do like him.
He's good. He's won the Europa League, and that's been his window normally to getting into the Champions League. But apart from PSG, not won a domestic trophy, not really had a lot of title races. You speak to Arsenal fans, like the hatred they have for that guy.
That's because he hates them now, though.
Yeah, no, it has got toxic
It's
between
got-
the two. But he was
it's-
poor at Arsenal. He was poor.
But that's
why.
what
He
I'm
was
saying.
poor.
If you can't cut it at Arsenal, then
Well, I think that was too early for him. Like in terms of his Premier League tenure, I think he would have learned from that experience. I'm taking a Unai Emery shout over a Glasner shout every day of the week for me.
But then
You know
Glasner,
the
I
big
also
issue,
think.
though,
Go on, Crookie.
with Unai Emery. Again, I was talking about this when I was on air with Perry Groves on Sunday. There's very few managers now who are managers in the sort of Sir Alex Ferguson sense of the word, in that they have control of everything. Mikel
wants
Arteta
that.
is one.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola, because of what he's won at Manchester City. I know Hugo Viana is there as sporting director, but it's still very much Pep's kingdom. Eddie Howe, to a certain extent, as Newcastle, because that's the way he likes to operate. And Unai Emery at Villa. He is in charge of all aspects of the club.
Crookie.
You
Yeah,
are
ain't
right,
happening
Crookie.
here.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
You're
not.
right.
He'll fall out with him within
But that's what
months.
you've got to think about, is that whoever you bring in has to accept their place in the hierarchy, and that you are not going to be bigger than Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox.
That's
they
what I
are going
mean.
to
Yeah,
pull
They
the
don't want a
strings.
big name.
Yeah.
But the big names won't want to
And-
work under this, similar to like a Chelsea.
and that's what makes it difficult.
Yeah.
So
That also shows us, though, the pool of managers that we are probably going to be in for. People like Glasner, Iriola, De Zerbi,
I don't think
these Maresca maybe. These types of guys that like. Well, you say Maresca, he's just fallen out with people who work like this, essentially. So that
Exactly.
probably isn't going to work.
Are you excited by any of those names you just said?
Not, for the first time ever, I actually feel like empty.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
know who's the right manager.
Me too.
I don't know what. I can't even sit here myself and go, listen, what they need to do is go and get him, because he knows what it's all about, and he's a big manager who won't take any rubbish. I don't know. I actually feel the lowest I've ever felt.
and it's hard
Me
because
too.
because every single one you can poke holes at. Like I was looking at someone like Xavi, for example.
Yeah.
Like Barcelona, when they were bad, like he came in and
Saved
he
them.
very
Won the
much
title as
steadied
well.
he steadied the ship.
But there's that. He's a Barcelona guy. It's like the Zidane
Yeah,
thing.
I
He's Real
understand.
Madrid. Like, what do they look like stepping out of that into a club like Man United?
But apparently, and again, it's just through reading around that apparently he would be open to something like that. I was checking because apparently, like his English is quite good, so that was someone that I was looking at. I was talking to a few people, and one name that we were discussing, which is a very, very rogue shout. I don't know if you like this. Cesc Fabregas. Now,
early, innit?
Cesc
Ex
Fabregas.
Arsenal, ex Chelsea.
I know. Think about
not
how
gonna work, is it?
angry Arsenal and Chelsea fans would be.
They would
They'd
be.
fuming.
Or they
He
might
would
laugh at
have
us and
to,
say he's not got
He
no
would have to
experience.
apologise for Pizzagate.
Yeah.
But I think he's done, and I'm not saying that this is the answer. It was just a name that was
Yeah.
kind of being
Nah,
thrown
it's never gonna
around.
happen.
That he plays good football. He's done a really good job with Como. It seems like he is building to become a very good manager. He's a good communicator. He's going to get a big job eventually, I think. So I'm not saying that he would be the answer, but I just thought it was an interesting name.